Brett Heimstead here with Beer Mom Media, Adam Scherson.
Kevin Hanson.
Kevin Hanson from the Hansons Distance Project.
Yeah,
right?
we like to call it ourselves the Original Distance Project,
Yeah.
but
Right?
we were, I don't know if you know this, but my brother actually invented the name project with distance. We were the first ever distance project of any sort, seriously.
That's awesome.
And so now you go Google distance project, I mean, and it goes back to like, people used to call us and say, is it okay if we use the name project and stuff? But this is long before Nike Oregon Project, long before any of those. So it's like, we were the original distance project.
That's awesome.
Missed opportunity for a patent.
Yeah, I know, we totally screwed it up. Yeah. Google Distance Project now in every middle school has a distance project. You know, it's so
all
funny.
Those Nike
So it's
regionals and stuff.
yeah.
So you've got men and women racing
do.
the 5K tomorrow.
We do.
So just looking to get some times down, looking to...
Yeah, honestly, you know, I know a lot of people are offended by the term rust buster, but truthfully for us, it's a chance to get on the track. We have, the whole schedule's been shifted this year, and this year they're running the 10,000 USATF, 10,000 will be at pre-weekend.
Okay.
So the last weekend in May instead of June along with the rest of the track meet. So it's kind of going to be a standalone event, and we kind of are, we hope that becomes a good thing. I mean, you know, it's sort of like how the marathon's a standalone event, and it's the marathon trials, and it's turned into something pretty special. And so we hope that that's what happens with the 10,000 as well. But in any case, it's going to be separate this year, which means that everything's a little earlier, and it means there's going to be a big 10,000 meter qualifier for a lot of these athletes on March 5th in California, one of the Sound Running meets. Jesse Williams does an unbelievable job he has with that. I mean, if you look at last year, I think he screwed up USATF last year because there were so many women that qualified there. They didn't know whether or not to run one or two heats or whatever. And it was like, I mean, and that was due to Jesse's meets. But in any case, because of it being so early, we don't normally race indoors, but we needed to do something prior to that. And so that's what brings us here as much as anything. And then we were super excited to see this new facility that I've heard so many good things about. And so it just, everything fell right.
Nice. Being able to watch the American record attempt, I mean, we got to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's, throw that in there at every interview. That's super exciting. Heck yeah.
So, cool.
So going to indoor track, you said it's not something that you typically focus on. Given that, you know, we're hoping that the 10K kind of develops on its own and that indoor meets will be more prevalent, is this something that's going to be on the calendar in the future?
Yeah, if the calendar remains similar to this year, then yes, we will always want to do something prior to that. And so, yeah, this would be a great place for us. I mean, we kind of consider, you know, it's only a little over 4-hour drive from where we're at to Chicago. And so Chicago, we do a lot of things here in Chicago. Our group, we've had so many people have their breakthroughs. Brian Sell had his first breakthrough and became an Olympian. His first breakthrough was at Chicago Marathon. Des Linden's first breakthrough was in Chicago, and who became an Olympian for us and stuff. And so we've had so many good things happen in Chicago because it's kind of like, it's one of us. It's a Midwest town. It's like us, and so it's like
running at home.
Yeah, it really is, and it's like it's a little different travel here than it is any other place because, you know, it's being 4 hours away. You don't need to get into a plane for that, and so it's I don't know. It's just kind of our home away from home. But it's like almost everything that Kerry Pinkowski puts his hand on, we try to be involved in because it's always pretty darn organized, and we come out for the Shamrock Shuffle out here, and just pretty much anything. So we like kind of Chicago's kind of our second home.
I love it. So we don't like to say the word rush buster.
Right, I know. Yeah, exactly.
It's a very controversial term.
I know, exactly.
So looking at your athletes tomorrow, what are you looking for in terms of performances?
You know, honestly, we've been working pretty hard. My wife and I drove 2 cars here so that we can drive them back home. but they were in Florida, and so we've been in and out of Florida, so they flew here.
So they did
and
a
so-
sharpening session in
Yeah, so
Florida.
they've been down in Florida doing some stuff a little faster where basically one less layer of clothing than they have to have at home in Michigan. And so basically them coming here right now, what I'm really looking for is we've been working pretty hard. So I'm looking for them to try to run what I consider the second half of the 10K that they're going to run in 3 weeks. And so I'm like, okay, like whether or not you have pacers or don't have pacers are totally unimportant. If you had a 10K and you had pacers for the first 5K, you're going to be left on your own for the second 5K. So let's attack this as if this is our second 5K. And so we'll see where we're at as far as, does that make sense? Would you be pleased with that being your second 5K? And so, it'll be anywhere from, I think Natosha will probably be in the 15:30 range, and 15:50 range for Olivia and Amy, and probably closer to 16:10 or so for Catherine. And then on the guys' side, I think probably anywhere from 13:45 or so to 13:55, and I'd be pleased with that. I think it would be a good place for us right now.
And when you say running this race as if it were the second 5K of the 10K, how are you getting your athletes in that mentality? Is it are you running them before the race, or are they
No,
get
just
afterwards?
it won't be the amount of work that they're going to do tomorrow. It'll be the amount of work that they've done over the past 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't done a whole lot of sharpening things, and we have done a whole lot of work. It's easy to get work in when you're in Florida because you can run something where you run 2-mile repeats here, and you want to run them at 4:40 pace, and they'll struggle mainly because they've got one too many layers of clothing on, so on and so forth. Then, and I'm always preaching like it's effort. It doesn't matter what the watch says. It's effort. It's effort. And then it's like they want to believe me, but they don't always. And so it's one of those like, yeah, coach, okay. We get down in Florida and we do the same workout, and all of a sudden they're like running 4:35s, and it's like they're walking, and they're like, this is crazy. And it's like, so then it's easier when we go back and forth, because we go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier when they're here and not hitting the times, because they know it's not them. They know I'm fit, and
Right.
they know that. So it's kind of a mental thing more than anything else.
For somebody who's new to that system, how do you kind of keep their mentality in check? Where you're like, hey, we're focusing on effort, not specifically times for this workout.
Yeah. It's hard until they go down there.
Mm-hmm.
The first time here it's difficult because it's like they don't believe me until they go down and see it for themselves, and then they go, oh, okay, and then it's a lot easier. So it's a lot. I always say that we do it for 6 weeks, and it's 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, and so they get 3 different times down there. So it's 12 weeks total, but it's so for 3 months basically. And my thing always is when we're down there, we're working on being faster, and when we're up here, we're working on being tougher. And both are important parts in a race. And so it's just what we're working on different things. Even though workouts might be similar and so on and so forth, what I hope to gain from the workouts are different depending on where we're at.
In a world that's hyper focused on times at meets, how do you keep athletes in check who are if they have a bad race and they look at the time and they say that's not where I want to be? What's your process as a coach for that?
I try to be realistic going into things so that we're like, even if somebody's run like Natosha's run 15:04, and I try to be realistic and tell her that I'm going to be happy with 15:30 to 15:35 here, and we try to hammer that home going into it so that basically it's realistic. If she runs 15:50 or something that's not what we want to do, we'll both be disappointed. We'll be disappointed together. So it won't be where I have to convince them of this or they have to convince. I try to take care of that beforehand. I try to get that up front so that so the expectations meet what my goals are for them at this point. And I always tell them my goals for you are more important than your goals are for yourself at this point, only because I know where your fitness level is.
Right.
You know, I mean, our end product
Is the same
is
goal,
the same thing, but
yeah.
how we get there might not always be the same.
Do you see Florida as kind of a new spot to go? I mean,
I love this.
Everybody went to altitude for so long,
I
and
love
now
this.
Florida has become
Here's
like
the thing.
this
For
new
us,
spot.
we've been going there for 20 years.
Sure, and now Dayton's bringing his group down there.
Yeah, why do you think? because he saw it. You know who else went down there last year? Ben Rosario. You
Yep.
know why? For the same reason.
Yep.
You know who else goes there? Atlanta Track Club, because they saw what we were doing down there. So it's like, so it's we love it because before it was like Central Florida. Why Central Florida? There's nothing there. There's a glutton of how, and truthfully, when they're down there, almost every one of the coaches called me and asked me, okay, now how do we go to get to the Sand Mine Road? Or how do we get, so it's like, so truthfully, it's like, I love that everybody's down there right now. I love it because it kind of makes me feel like the people that were athletes for us before saw value in what we were doing. Mm-hmm. And so that's the biggest thing to me. They're coaching now, they're in charge, they make those decisions. And they're not going down there because that's what Kevin did. They're going down there because they saw value in what they did down there.
Absolutely. Going back to just indoor, right? So how often, or have your athletes been on an indoor track at all?
No, we have not. This will be our first. We did an indoor workout back at home when I tried it before they went down to Florida. We did an indoor workout on these soccer fields that we have that are indoors where I cone it off and measure out. It's basically a 300 kind of thing on turf, but we have not done any indoor tracks. We've been on a track outdoors because we utilize, when we're down in that area, the Olympic Training Center for triathlon. Olympic Training Center is in the area where we're at. And so they're very cooperative with allowing us to use the track and stuff there.
Cool.
Looking forward to tomorrow. I guess we have to comment on the American record attempts.
In the mile.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thoughts going into that?
It's so funny. I don't know if these athletes will do it here tomorrow, and I don't know whether or not that'll happen, but the athletes that are here will do it. It's just a matter of whether or not they'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, it's like we have the right bodies here, that's for sure. So It's like, so I'm super excited to see it myself. We'll see how it plays out for them. But I'll be happy to have a seat right up close, personal, and be watching what goes on. But yeah, I sure hope so. It'd be super exciting to say I was there when that did happen. So it'd be great.
Definitely. Anything else from your end, Brett?
So you've had a lot of success on the professional level, and not being the Nike Oregon project, and not being one of these big brands. Is there something that you think that you do that it attributes that, or is it a culture thing that you have within your squad that you assemble? You get to pick your athletes.
Absolutely, we hope it's a culture thing. I really do consider our athletes family. I really do consider it, and that's not a cliche, and it's not something that I say just because it sounds right. I mean, it's good and it's bad, to be honest with you. I bleed with a poor performance from an athlete. Sure. I really do. I genuinely take it, and I'll have 8 athletes run tomorrow, and if 7 of them run well, and somebody has a stinker that I don't know where it came from, I will consider tomorrow not a success, because I'll take that one with me, and it's always, it maybe isn't fair because it can be that person just, got up on the wrong side of the bed that day or whatever, but it's at the same time, you just want everybody, because you see the amount of work that they invest, and you want it for them, and so that's why it's like, but I think that the biggest thing for us is a sense of camaraderie, sense of family, and people honestly care for each other.
Mount Rushmore of Hanson's distance project. You get 4.
Oh God.
Top 4 Mount Rushmore. I mean, there's
Well,
a couple that
well,
are pretty.
Well, for sure, Brian Sell and Des Linden,
Yep.
I mean, are 2 American Olympians
Yep.
that both have, you know, I don't need to go through what they've done, but those 2 definitely heads and shoulders. There's a couple others that people that sometimes people don't realize we're with. Neely Spence,
You know,
and I'll tell you, Neely was 13th in the world when she was with us at World Cross.
Yep.
And the top American that day, and that was in Poland. And I would probably put her on that list. And then
it's hard to leave. You're going to leave somebody off that.
I'm
probably
for sure
deserves
going to
be
leave
on
somebody
there.
out. I probably, for the opposite from Neely, who was like, did things really well. I hate to put anybody on the list that's currently on the team, although
Sure.
I could. And the reason I do is because it's like, really? Why are you like inducting somebody into the Hall of Fame when their season isn't over?
Sure.
Right.
I felt that myself when coaching high school, when they put me into the Hall of Fame, and I was like, are you telling me I have to be done now? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Like, it's like, you know, so it's like, but so I hate to give it to anybody there, but I think one that I could do that is still amazing people is Dot McMahon has done things that people don't even realize. She's still, I mean, 2 years ago she won, she's still qualifying for the for Olympic trials and things in the
Yeah.
marathon. She's 45 years
Yeah,
old.
longevity,
And it's
yeah.
like, and I mean, she's, people don't understand sometimes with her. She's a good teammate she'll jump in for a track workout with our people now and a road people. And so, and that's on top of being a mom and a wife and everything else. And so I don't know, she probably deserves a place up there right now, even though she's not done.
Well, and again, the culture is the important thing, right?
Yeah,
Like, and
I think it
that's-
is.
And that's
So-
part of it.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Awesome. Awesome.
now what I'm trying to do now, I'm not trying to think of who I left out. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think who's going to give me a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying their name is what I'm doing. So that's what I'm, that's what's going through my
Sorry to
mind
put you in a bad spot.
now. No, that's all right. That's okay.
Oh man. Well, best of luck to you and your athletes
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Super
joining
fun to
us.
watch.
Should be fun.
Yeah,
Should be
yeah.
fun.
That'll be great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate your
Appreciate
time.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you. Thanks. I saw Zach hiding up there.
Oh, sure.
Oh, you got your packet?
Oh yeah, I'll be right back. I can grab Zach here.